Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a Flesh and Blood podcast, breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Abby, Jordan, and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 54 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. Logan, let's start with you. What did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
It was the normal Flesh and Blood week for me. So 2 armories, even though you can play 3 in the area now and soon to be 4.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So the experience grind for the Iowa crew that want to experience grind will be absolutely real.
Yeah.
That's, because 4 is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I played in my normal too. We drafted Monarch first.
Nice.
On Thursday. It was insane too. So Nathan Benny, man of the chives, he had 3 boxes, not from cases, of Monarch first. So immediately your brain goes to mapped, because you can map Monarch first.
Sure.
But they clearly weren't, because out of there there was a cold foil Doomsday out of the first box, a cold foil Valiant Dynamos out of the second box, and a extended art Lumina Ascension out of the third box.
Huh.
Like, what the fuck?
So he really got some good Lucy's.
Yeah, straight up value Lucy's.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit, that's incredible. And then
Okay.
played a little bit of the old Blitz on Saturday night. I played Levia. I had a bye in round 2, but my matchups went Levia, Reinar, so it was all brute all the time. So the Brute squad should be pretty happy now that it's become Brute Winter all of a sudden. Arg smash for all the Dash players, and then just go hard.
That's awesome.
That's about it. That was my week in Flesh and Blood. Jordan?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. I did a lot of collection management stuff. Flesh and Blood, I'm buying some Flesh and Blood as gifts for people this year, so I was doing some collection management / like TCG playing. I bought the most of the stuff that I don't already have for Dynasty to finish out. I'm still like short the Fable CNC, as well as like 1 or 2 of the Majestics. I think like the Mechanoid thing.
Yeah.
Those are just kind of a little cost expensive right now for a deck for a card I'm not gonna play. What else? Played a little bit on Talishar in some spare time. I think I'm gonna Reinar Smash at PTQs, which I like what that deck does a lot. I think it's fun, and then it's point click enough that I don't have to invest a ton of time in like nuance. So it's actually I feel like there's less nuance than Starvo when Starvo was at its peak nuance.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I understand.
it's way more point click than Starvo was, and Starvo was like pretty point click, especially Casino Starvo. So I like that, just like with the way that I budget my time, it works out. But besides a couple of games on Talishar and collection management, didn't get into a whole lot. Had to skip Armory this week because it's just like calendar stuff. But my goal is to play more Armories the rest of the month because they're all CC headed into PTQ season. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. Quick question: do you have 4 separate LGSs in your area now?
They're 4 separate. Yep.
Okay.
And the really messed up part is you could, in the area, theoretically could put an armory every day of the week in the Des Moines area if the shops wanted to, because there are just that many shops in the area.
Sure. Now, are they all good or?
Oh God, no.
Okay. So say Columbus has like X shops, like we could fill a week,
right?
But
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to, kind of thing.
Right. It's absolutely. I do not. The 2 shops that I want to be holding armories are the ones holding armories.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Like the good ones are doing the good stuff.
Yep.
Sure. Makes sense. Abby, Flesh and Blood.
I did a thing.
Oh,
it's incredible,
wow.
Honestly. I'm on a heater. But I did, Jordan, I opened some packs. It was not great. Sorry,
some logistics we needed.
Let me rephrase. The opening packs with my husband, great. The cards in the packs, not great.
Sure. Yeah,
I think
it's
fine distinction. Yeah.
I think it's a fair distinction. I appreciate the distinction for sure.
But yeah,
This set sucks to open. We've talked about it a lot,
yeah.
but like I feel like the Marvels in Uprising were really cool, and they really made you want to just like crack boosties. They kind of suck in this one. I know we've been really down. Multiple people have pointed this out to us, that we've been really down on like Flesh and Blood lately as a concept. We've been rough on it. I hope we can shift a little bit of the tone this week. We'll try, but like I'm going to try to be magnanimous later. But like Dynasty, guys, let's just be honest with ourselves. Dynasty is not the most fun thing to open, and it's like supplemental set problems, right? Like next year we won't have this many. Like the 2 sets out of the 3 sets we got this year, 2 of them are supplemental sets, and supplemental sets suck. Like, so
any set you can't draft kind of feels bad. That's
it just has a
my
ceiling.
viewpoint.
Yeah. Like LSS is sponsoring lottery tickets, you know, and like with supplemental sets, it feels like that, because at least with like draft, you could say, you know what, like you could even just like draft a card that's not for your deck but for your collection. You feel good about that draft no matter how it goes, right? Like I got the Majestic I needed out of one of the 10 booster packs at this table. 24 booster packs at this table. I don't know what draft you're doing with just 10 boosties. One of the 24 booster packs at this table, I feel good about that, right? There's no way for you to do that with supplemental. You just have to crack, and that just feels like buying into this predatory business model that is TCGs. And that's not like LSS's fault, right? Like they're I don't think they're doing that with that in mind. It's just this is a shitty business model.
Yeah,
or a shitty product.
Yeah, it's not intentional that they occupy a space in a predatory industry.
Right. Like James White didn't sit and go, oh, I'm going to figure out how to make the most money from Dynasty while giving it the worst player experience, but making them come back for more. Like that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Right. Like that dude loves this game. He loves this community. He wants the best for it. It just fell short. Right. And because supplemental sets are limited. Yeah. I don't know why I got on that rant, to be completely honest with you.
I mean, it's a decent rant. I mean, I'd give it. I got a B for it.
Oh, I'll take B's. We take B's.
For
people that don't know, Logan and I are very honest with each other and grading each other's rants or points or whatever. If Logan's guesting on a podcast and he makes like a dumb point, or a dumb joke, I'll text him and let him know he got an F. Or if it's an A, I'll let him know he gets an A.
You will call me if it's a banger. You will dial my phone number and call me.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. You were on, I think it was one of Flake's roundtables, and I made a point to no one laughed at your joke. And I made a point to stop the podcast and then call you immediately. It was like, you didn't get the feedback that this joke deserved. And then later you said one that was shitty, and I texted you and was like, hey, that joke sucked. You deserved crickets.
But the people gave you pity laughs, and that's sad. Like you were sad about the fact that people laughed at that.
Yeah.
And just completely just blew off the epic Fort Minor joke that I delivered.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. It was perfect.
It was 100% skill joke, and like nobody appreciated it. And
I was hurt in the moment, but it did make me feel infinitely better immediately when you called me and let me know
said,
that
like Linkin Park. I don't know who was like, is that a Linkin Park song? I was like, what?
Technically, they get partial credit because Mike Chioda was part of that song.
I think you're being generous, but like
partial credit. Wolf. It's like when you thought that Tommy was actually in a boy band and pulled Topanga for prom, and I had to inform you that no, I got the band wrong, but I had the person right.
Okay, if any not celebrity could date Topanga Lorian, do you think
Tommy?
It wouldn't be Tommy Fresh?
It's Tommy.
It would be Tommy from Fresh and Buds 100% of the time. He's absolutely the one of us that would date Topanga. Abby, did you see those tweets with like people's proms and then me thinking it was Topanga? Tommy was dating Topanga?
I saw the tweet. I did not see Tommy's. I will have to look at it.
Tommy just posted a picture of somebody from, it was NSYNC or Backstreet Boys.
It was Lance Bass, who I thought he was in the Backstreet Boys. He was in NSYNC. My boy band knowledge is bad. Outside of Menudo, it's terrible.
I have so many problems with everything that was just said.
So Lance Bass and Topanga dated.
Daniel Fishel,
Yeah, they went to prom together. Tommy posted a picture of them as his prom photo as a joke. I didn't know this. I said, wow, that girl looks a lot like Topanga. And wow, Tommy, why did you have frosted tips? And he was like, that was natural, baby. And I didn't know until I called Logan to find out what
6:45 a.m. Central Time. Jordan
to be clear,
called
I
me.
forget that not everyone lives in my time zone until I speak to them. I did that today. Look, I did that today and I thought of you. I called my boss and she was like, I told you I had a meeting from like 1 to 2 and it was like 2:30 my time, but she lives in Illinois. So I was like, oh, you're right. You live in the past. I'm so sorry. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Can we just rewind a second?
We
Sure.
can. Yep, absolutely.
Do you think that the person's name is actually Topanga?
No.
It's Daniel
Okay.
Fishel. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you
No,
just
I'm sure
kept
she has, like,
saying
a real name, but-
Topanga, like
Yeah, I don't
that
know
was
that.
who it was.
But no one, if I say Danielle Fishel, the
Yeah.
number of people that recognize
I know who that is.
goes down dramatically. But if I say
Well,
Topanga, the number of people that
anyways.
recognize
All right.
Topanga is way higher.
Abby, I'm really sorry. You are not the majority demographic of Flush and Pod listeners. So, like,
Well, I should
with all
be.
due respect, we need to refer to her as Topanga so that people know what we're talking about. If that makes sense. Like Billy Bean. His name's Brad Pitt, but he's Billy Bean.
It's Billy Bean.
He's Billy Bean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, here's a
whatever.
this is not a, we're way off topic, but
Oh my god.
trivia question. Moneyball, Jonah Hill's character. What is that character's real life correspondent?
Correspondent?
Like that his name in the show isn't his name in real life.
Oh, right.
Who does
I
he
do
reflect
not-
in real life?
I do not know who he reflects in real life.
Oh man. I should
Oh,
know
I
the
just,
answer to this.
literally, he's the current like GM for, not GM, chief strategist for the Cleveland Browns, and I can't remember his name now. As soon as I said it, Cleveland Browns, Moneyball guys,
Great radio.
great
It's
radio.
perfect. Yep.
Yeah, I had the guy's name in my head, Paul DeBattista.
There it
is
is.
the guy's name.
He's based on DePodesta?
Yeah,
Oh.
that is who did that with Billy Bean in Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That
for
is-
whatever reason they didn't use his name in the thing, but
And then they cast Jonah Hill. Like,
yeah, Paul DeBattista does not look like that. Yeah, it's
Nope.
weird. But yeah, that's there you go. There's your fun fact of Moneyball trivia.
I'll take it.
There you go. I know you were all anxiously awaiting your weekly Moneyball trivia, but there you go.
We've
All right.
missed a lot of weeks.
Well, who could be sure?
Well, we got a backlog to do, but unfortunately, there wasn't time to do a backlog.
Yeah.
So yeah, Abby and I have a bit of an announcement to make. Thank God she's not pregnant. That would be a terrible
Oh my
announcement. That'd be
God.
worse than this announcement. We
Perspective
are not gonna-
matters on that one, but
fair for me.
Way worse.
We're not going to be involved in Flush and Pod in 2023. We're going to step back for a bunch of family reasons and time reasons, and just like we have to be elsewhere and doing other things. And so we're not going to be part of the show. There still is going to be a show, and Logan will talk about that and the plan and all of that stuff going forward. But we wanted to tell the Fappers in the Fap Zone first. Fap Zone? We've been in the Fap Zone for, well, I'm in deep now. So anyway, for me, we've had a really good time doing this. Logan is one of the best and longest friends I've had in my adult life. And so this has been a very fun thing to do. And it's been a very, like, I don't know, it's been very fulfilling. We've gotten to meet a lot of people. We've gotten to explore Fab in a different way. And it's definitely like a bittersweet thing to leave, because while we're going to be doing things that we want to be doing and need to be doing and focusing more time on, this thing we do matters. And like our FAP community in the Discord and on Twitter and like all that kind of stuff is definitely really sad. And I'll let Abby talk a little bit, but we just wanted to let you know that we won't be around after a couple of weeks. And we love you, and you did nothing wrong, and it's not because of you, it's because of us.
Yeah, obviously this isn't a decision that Jordan and I took lightly. But it is what it is, and that's what we're gonna do. We aren't stepping away from the game. We'll still be around. Jordan will still be around. Everybody tells me that I never play this game, so I guess that will change for me. But it's definitely sad. But like I said, we're still going to be around. We'll still be at events and stuff. We just need to take a step back, and unfortunately this is where we're going to get the time. So, but we love you. And I still don't have a possum.
Yeah, no, that's. I thought that was the actual reason that you were leaving, is that Jordan could not fulfill the possum promise. But anybody that's watching on YouTube, that seems like I look way too okay with this. I've had a couple weeks with it, so I was able to. It's no, and this is not intended to weigh on anybody, but I literally went through the grieving process. I went through every stage of it, and as somebody who's gone through a lot of grieving in their life, I identify them as they happen. I am a fucking awful person because I'm basically a robot that analyzes what's happening in my brain and starts listing them off and categorizing, compartmentalizing. It's awful. But I spent a lot of time thinking about what to do. And where I wound up is that I personally, and I know Jordan and Abby feel this way too, love what we've built. And I at the end of the day, I can't give it up. It's not going to feel the same. It's not going to feel necessarily right. At least probably for the beginning, but we will be moving forward. We will have a new permanent co-host. We will announce that in a couple weeks. We'll be doing the final show of Jordan and Abby with our new permanent co-host. And from there, we'll probably rotate the third seat, and there'll be some weeks without one until we can figure out if we need to have a permanent third again. But for me, this has been the most rewarding thing I've done in a very long time. And that's a lot of the reason that I'm going to keep going is that I'm going to stay in contact with Jordan and Abby. Whether they like it or not, I know where they live and have both of their phone numbers. And I put a tracker on the Tiguan. So
I'm selling that thing. It sucks. So. You're going to find some random ass guy's house when you go next.
Well, it might be nice. It might be in Dublin. But the fact of the matter is that I understand that this is the best course of action for them and wish nothing but the best. It is a heavy heart. It's hard. And I understand everybody's going to feel at least I think I understand everybody's going to feel because it's how I felt. And I don't want to project, but it seems like we're all kind of a like mind where, we've grown to love the humans involved in all this, in this venture. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully the new format can come close to what we've been doing. But, only time is going to tell on that portion. But I'll still be around and I'll still be doing this. And I don't plan on missing or skipping a beat. I just hope that I can keep coming with what you guys want. And there's no filling Jordan and Abby's shoes at all. I mean, Abby's feet are massive, according to legend.
Oh my God.
But
future co-host may have something to say.
Maybe. But we will have a show. We're not going to stop, but we are going to
fapping. The fapping goes on.
We can't stop fapping, but we're going to change the method of which we fap a little bit. The format's going to stay exactly the same. We are not changing that at all, but the dynamic might seem a little different because it will be. But I want to just make sure that you two know that you're always welcome back at any time. And I will bump guests. I will tell them to fly kites, but kick rocks, as it were. If you were like, hey, can I come on? I got something to say this week. Then absolutely. And so I want to just thank you, the both of you, for giving me this, because honestly, it's been a gift.
So, first of all, you're welcome. I was about to make a joke, and then I realized I should probably tell you you're welcome. And then it's the same here. This has been like a very good thing for me, because people that don't know, Logan and I didn't come into this as strangers. We knew each other Logan and I have known each other for coming on 10 years here very soon through Magic. And then
over 10. It's over 10.
Yeah. Is it over 10? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're old.
As Magic started to suck, our friendship became more sports oriented through we played in a fantasy baseball league together, and then I deleted social media because as anyone that listens to this show knows, I would prefer to be left the hell alone all of the time. But we stayed on contact on Twitter, and then found out that we both play Fab because we both like card games, and then this has kind of been a good year and some odd months now of talking every day virtually. I talked to Logan probably second behind talking to Abby. in my life. So, I definitely appreciate it to the same degree that you do, and went through a lot of stages with it where something came up where there was a family obligation that we're needed for on a weekend in January. And Abby and I were talking about, well, how are we going to make recording the podcast work? We were like, oh, right. That's not going to be a problem. And that was very weird.
Mhm.
And like, that's one of the benefits of why we're making the decision we are, is to like accommodate those things. But like, that was one of the moments where it was like, oh, there was a bit of a denial stage in there, and a bit of like well, that's a bummer. And then like, maybe LSS gets their shit together at some point and we can be positive and like, take the under, but like whatever. But anyway, the joke I was going to make was that, remember that time that Patrick Swayze saved a town with dancing? You could save a podcast with fapping.
That was Kevin Bacon. And Patrick Swayze saved a bar through ass kicking. It saved a girl through dancing. Kevin Bacon in Footloose saved a town from dancing. And he saved...
Who did Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing?
Saved a girl.
Yeah. Baby.
Oh.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Right.
You're thinking of Footloose.
Fuck. Shit.
Yep, got caught, didn't you?
Podcast sucks anyway.
Fuck off. God damn it. I got one other thing is this. So I already told Jordan and Abby about this. So keep going.
Boy.
Keep going. This is great. Nope. Okay. I was into it for a second. So I popped in, Armory, and I was handed an envelope. And the envelope had a letter in it, which I'm just going to read. It's a short letter right here. And it says, Logan, thank you for picking up where Ben left off with events at Mayhem. Your personality has really brought a fun new energy to Thursdays that make them feel like can't miss events. It honestly feels like an episode of Cheers when people walk through the doors, and that's a testament to your good vibes. We hope you have a great holiday season, and maybe you can open this on the podcast. Sincerely, your Central Iowa Fab family. And then inside was this, which is a pack of Arcane Rising First Edition. So
nice.
We gonna crack this.
Yeah, let's do that.
But step one is going to be thank you. It's anonymous, so I don't know exactly who it is. I have my druthers, I have my thoughts, I have my impressions, but I'm just going to thank the entire family: Taylor, Dagan, Patty, Benny, Rhodey, Zach, Kenny. There's just too many to fucking actually name. But and if I haven't said your name yet, trust me, it's still in my head. But thank you. I have the FAP community and I have the Iowa community, which have a lot of crossover and overlap, but both are fantastic. And when I talk about how much I love community in the game, this just speaks to that again. I don't know. I know this probably doesn't come across this way in a lot of instances, but I do have a lot of, I wouldn't call it anxiety, but like trepidation when it comes to, do people actually care if I'm around or not, or if I do the things or not? And this, this helps that trepidation. But the gift was not necessary, honestly. The note was enough. But let's pop this. Let's see if I did well. Okay, like I've not opened a pack of Arcane First yet, so.
That's a good cracking pack noise you've got going on there.
It's a fantastic noise. It is very satisfying.
That's the downside about paper packs. They're better in every way except the sound of them.
I don't have a top down, so I have to do it this way. So
you're doing great.
A push the point blue. I'm trying to recognize off art because I can't read them. Vigor Rush.
Yep, yellow.
Still doing it. Ravenous Rabble, yellow.
Okay.
And this is an Arena's
Prayer, yellow.
So not doing great.
Nope.
And that is a Convection Amplifier.
Okay, doing worse.
And this is a foil red Overloop.
That's playable.
And then a Crown of Dichotomy.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Zipper Hit.
Yeah, that's playable.
A Hamstring Shot. It's a Azalea card, but we'll get into that.
Basically garbage.
Another red Overloop.
Ooh.
Oh, all right.
And then a Blood Spill Invocation yellow.
Okay.
Zap. Rep,
Zap.
just get them.
Okay.
Ruin Flash.
All right.
Index, that's that one. And then Azalea. So-
Azalea. I knew that
and
one.
then, it's a double Azalea, though. It's the front and back Azalea.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice little pack.
Some playable stuff in there. But again, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get the hits, but it's still super fun to open the old stuff. I really enjoy it. But yeah, I think that was fun as hell. But I don't think we're not a box opening service either. So it's the only pack you probably ever see cracked on stream.
Yeah.
Remember when we recorded box openings and I got the Fable and then we never did anything with it?
And we never did anything with it. Nope.
It's in the Google Drive.
I remember.
Remember when we were going to have a pack one, pick one segment, but then Flesh and Blood doesn't have draftable sets regularly. So
I remember that too.
Very early drafts of what in a show notes outline look like. Here's some fun, like as Abby and I exit throughout this month, maybe we can give some good like FAP history. One of the early segments of this was supposed to have a pack one, like what's the play, pack one, pick one thing. And then we were like, well, Tales of Aria has been out for a billion years. Does anybody really care about pack one, pick ones? And then Everfest happened, and then we were already into like the flow of the show by the time that Uprising came out. So it's been kind of an interesting, like that was a segment that could have existed but died. So
yeah, programming note: these shows might get longer in the last few,
sure.
But
yeah, because we're at 30 minutes. We're at 30 minutes right
We're
now.
doing so good.
I know that I said I was going to teach you how to edit after today. I don't have time for that. I'm just going to do it, and then we'll figure it out later.
That's fine.
Okay.
I understand.
You guys have until I get to the top of the sheet.
All right, let's hit the news and notes. Let's hit the news and notes, and then
I know I'm trying.
The last news and
going
note
back
is
through
the
the
meat.
old sheets. Okay.
Oh, I did get set complete for Dynasty outside of the Fable.
Oh,
However,
Heyo.
I think it was a sixth Fable was open locally in Des Moines. So
Holy shit.
not me, but
All right. Let's talk about our January 2023 Armory kit. We have the details, folks. Okay, so the kit is going to include 4 Arachne cold foil, 32 cut to the chase extended art rainbow foils, a People's Champion surgical extraction playmat, a Dynasty general use playmat, and then the marketing posters and such.
that playmat's the sauce.
Yeah, are you talking about the surgical extraction one?
Yeah.
I like both
Yeah.
of them.
I like that
the
it's the
sauce.
People's Champion one too, because like you don't have to be the biggest spike in your store to get it. I like that.
But yeah, that's the that is again the Arachne, the cold foil Arachne is dope. It's the adult Arachne. It's Huntsman, I believe, not young.
Yes, it is adult. Yep.
So that's cool. Like I enjoy that. Cut to the chase is playable and kind of sweet as a full art.
Yep.
And that playmat is gas. This is just this is a solid 8 out of 10 armory kit.
Yeah, like if you're ever like, I don't think most people do or don't go to armories because of the kits, but if you are on the fringe, like this is a good one to go and play for the stuff in. There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I
the
notes.
team that
Good
makes
job.
this stuff kills it. Like the team that makes these kits kill it.
They really do. Oh, I just saw
Mhm.
Kyler Murray got carted off. Well, there goes my fantasy season. Fantastic.
Yikes.
Oh, well, at least there's more time for Call of Duty. So
Oh, you're talking about Kyler, not me.
yeah, yes,
Oh.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it's
was
Call
like-
of Duty, yeah.
I do not. No.
No, Kyler Murray
But-
will have plenty of time for Call of Duty. That's probably
Oh, sure
insensitive.
will.
He just got hurt, and like he's actually really tried this season. So, like, Hard Knocks is very fun to watch with him in it. Actually, so
It is.
you watch the mid-season Hard Knocks?
I do pull some of that up, mainly because you get a little bit behind the curtain, and I like behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. When it's my team, like the Browns were the team a couple of years ago, it was incredible. I watched it. It was a Hugh Jackson season though, so like, ugh.
Yeah,
But
it's we very well might get Green Bay next season on Hard Knocks with as bad as they've
yeah,
been.
you guys won't have eligibility to defend
Yeah.
next year, so to
Right.
reject. So that'd be
Yep.
sick. I'd love Aaron Rodgers Hard Knocks.
I
Jesus.
hope so.
Yikes.
It would be
Ayahuasca taken every week prior to recording a Hard Knocks.
Yay. All right. In addition to that, we have results. We have a snapshot from the Battle Hardened Singapore.
This article has nothing in it.
It has absolutely nothing in it.
But it has that Lexi one.
It does.
Yes.
So the finals was Lexi defeated Bravo. And we have the names of the top 8, but we only have the deck heroes from the finals.
The top 2. Yeah.
It was classic constructed. It also has
I know that there was, I want to say 4 Bravos in it.
Yeah, it was Bravo heavy. I think that is correct. But
Lexi beating them is interesting.
I want to see that list just because there's got to be something. There's got to be something different. There's got to be something that people haven't been doing before. Is it just arrowless Lexi? Is it make a bunch of go again and attack a billion times? Is it Briar basically? Like
it's just Redline Briar with like the ability to flip up cards to give it go again.
Yeah,
something that wouldn't have give your snatches go again, I guess.
But no channel mount heroic.
Yeah. This is cool. It's nice. I wish we had more results to talk with you about. I'm sure they're on Twitter or something, and like I'm just not into like Singapore Fab Twitter, so wouldn't know. But like 54 people. This is the second event in Premier Play since Dynasty, and the first one that isn't the day of release. So,
it's like the first one that didn't have Dash dominating too. I think everything else felt like a Dash fest, and this one not so much.
Which is cool. I like.
No,
I like
great.
that we have some diversity. Hopefully, also like Asian metas are always different than North American metas too. So seeing the differences there, like a Lexi Bravo meta versus we don't block over here, you know?
We don't block over here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What is a block?
It's a child's toy.
There's a number on the bottom right, but we don't need that one.
All right.
It's actually a set of 3 Magic sets meant to be drafted together. They were very good.
The good old days. Yeah.
Yeah, back when Magic had some structure. Speaking of structure.
That's a good segue.
All right. And then our last piece of news, if you haven't seen, we got an OP letter?
It's not an announcement.
Article?
I mean, they did announce Q1.
There's some announcements.
And and that was so I do not have to quit Flesh and Blood. They got in with a day to spare.
Yep.
Which is quite funny. Also, the morning that the OP announcement went live is when we were the Flesh and Pod account was followed by the head of organized play for North and South America for LSS, and I'm like,
oh no.
Oh no.
So if Alan, hi, sorry, not really, not at all, but not sorry.
Apologize.
Like all that still stands. Like still later than it should have been by a lot. But the article / letter. Okay. It does actually address the whole, hey, we know this needs to be better, and we will make sure it is better. So that does give us the opportunity to re-reference something to hold the feet to the fire a little bit harder, which I love. And also it's a commitment. So that's fantastic. That's something I'm really like, I do love the fact that I don't know. I honestly don't know how to feel about there only being one Pro Tour.
So let's do this. Let's walk through this article top to bottom.
Yeah, that's probably
talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah, do you want to run us through the bit?
Yeah. Do you? Yes. I'm gonna skip to the first like bolded part. I don't think we need the numbers for last year.
Oh, I was particularly interested in the numbers.
Well, okay, go ahead.
So at the top of this, they do a breakdown of this year of 2022, and then they go into their 2023 plan. I found a couple of these things very interesting. 40,000 armories sounds like a lot for where I thought the game was. That I think that's a good fun number. The number of callings I found particularly interesting, and I'll talk about this in a little bit with like where callings are going in 2023. But most of these callings are tied that there were 12 callings in 2022, Indianapolis, Krakow, Taiwan, New Jersey, Las Vegas, Madrid, Sydney, Utrecht, Singapore, Lille, Charlotte, and San Jose. Most of those, I think I found 8 earlier, were tied to a bigger thing and weren't like standalone events. And we'll talk about how the 2023 plan makes that make sense. But callings are not what I'm going to speak for myself. I guess I thought they were in LSS's plan. And Logan, my guess is that you feel similarly, that they don't feel like Grand Prix. They are the Grand Prix equivalent from Magic, but they are not intended to be what we took Grand Prix to be from back in like in Glory Magic OP days. Battle Hardens are where they see that role being filled.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of a mixture. Now, what I remember back in the olden days of there was even in the oldest of olden days of OP, so we're talking early 2000s,
sure,
early to mid 2000s. There was still more than 12 Grand Prix in a year in Magic. But these really are starting to feel more like these are part of the special events of Flesh and Blood and not the grinder events.
Yes.
The Battle Hardens feel like they're more of the grinder events, which is how Grand Prix felt.
Yes. And having that understanding of what they intend these to be gives me more ability to have some grace or latitude with like when we know about things. I wish that the callings were their grinder oriented event. Like I would prefer that, I think. But as we'll talk about throughout this article, they're doubling down on a dedication to regional play, and Battle Hardens do fit that niche very well. It is a good tournament for regional competitive players, whereas callings are a more international or national audience. And so if that's the direction they want to go, that makes sense. I mean, they had 30 Battle Hardens in 2022. I think they talk about later on, they're looking to have, I think, 50 in 2023.
Yep.
So that is going to be your, like, if there's a Battle Harden within 10 hours and you care about that, you're getting in the car and going. Whereas it used to be Grand Prix for us. And that's kind of where I think part of our disconnect came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, it was just interesting. I was reading this list and I was like, Indianapolis, that was tied. That was independent, actually.
Yep, that was independent.
New Jersey, Las Vegas, Madrid, Sydney were all part of like premieres or pro tours.
Mm-hmm.
Lille, Charlotte, San Jose were all part of other premier events. So it was kind of just like, wait, most of these actually aren't like their own thing, and that was interesting to me, but it did set the context for the rest of the article very well. So that's the only reason I found the numbers thing interesting. But they paid out more than they pledged. They paid out $1 million, $1,063,000 tournament prize play money, and they had promised to pay out $1 million. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding is LSS is very fast on turnaround time.
They are, yeah. From everyone I've heard, it is in their PayPal in days.
Like they actually have the money that they're promising you. They're not like Magic was like Magic was. They needed those entry fees to pay to pay it.
There's some fun stories.
Yeah. Sometimes you just didn't get it if you cash your Grand Prix because the tournament organizer fell apart. So at least LSS is working with their partners very well on that. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about with the numbers. I just wanted to bring it up because I think it'll give context to the rest of our discussion.
So the OP structure for next year will be the same 4 tiers. Tier 1 is your Armory, Skirmish, and pre-release. Tier 2 is Battle Hardens, Prod Quests, and your RTNs. Tier 3 is Nationals and Callings. And then Tier 4 is Worlds and the Pro Tour.
And I guess if I had read this chart correctly last year, my expectations would have been tempered a little bit, knowing that they equate callings with national championships.
Yeah.
This is interesting to me.
So I think that or at least I'm going to go ahead and just call myself out on this. I looked at that wrong. And my thought process was the level of competition at a calling and a Nats would be the same, not necessarily the number of players and prizes.
Sure.
So that's, I guess, where my little bit of disconnect was in my brain, but that makes sense to me now. Like, you're right. When I go back and like kind of do a little bit of revisionist thinking with it, it's like, oh, if I would have been looking through this through the right lens, my expectations probably would have changed.
Yes, completely agree. Now that I see this chart for what it is, with its dumb European Australian way of spelling organized, like use a Z, guys.
Zed,
God
sir.
damn, yeah, stop it. You shut your mouth. Matt, goddamn. Yeah, I thought this was interesting. Battle Harden's being in that, because you're right. Based on like tier of play, Collins and Battle Harden should be on their own tier, probably, with the national championships being between those two and then the World Champ / Pro Tour. But that's not what they mean, and they mean money, and like that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, way more.
Yeah, and they're still doing $1 million in 2023, which is good, because you would learn very quickly from that if it went down as to where they were financially. So saying, hey, that was fine. We can't double it. We can't go nuts, but that number worked. I like that a lot. I like that. That feels good. Hey, 2 beer show.
I got a couple more of those left, guys.
Hey.
Well, that's not true. I have a lot more of those left, but
gosh,
other fun, you only get to
fun behind the scenes thing.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. Fun behind the scenes thing. I told Logan, and he goes, well, I need about 8 shots of Jameson to process this news. And I said, I don't understand how this is different than another day. And I think you said something about it's like 4 or 5 more than normal.
Yeah, I think I said 12. And,
okay.
And then you were like, how is that any different? And I'm like, it's about 4 above normal. 8's a Tuesday.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Because I was like, I'm not sure what my news has to do with you needing to drink today.
Drink more.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, that's my bit on that. Sorry, Abby.
So the next section is what is changing. And the first topic that they touch on is major event scheduling and lead time. So in it, James says, I have to be honest with you, we are still building out some of the capability we need to achieve the standard we are striving for. Saying that, I am confident you will start to see rapid improvement in scheduling visibility as we move through Q1 next year.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that this owns it. It doesn't, like, we make a meme about like the COVID thing a lot. This just owns that they know there's an issue and it's not really tied to anything other than their own success. And that's cool. I appreciate it. And if they say, hey, he made the deal through Q1, I'd have been fine if he had said, hey, 2023 is going to be same. We hope to improve it by 2024. I'm okay with whatever timeline they give, as long as they like are honest about the timeline and give updates. You know what I mean?
Yep. So to me, this also means, I would hope it means that they are listening. They hear those of us that go on slightly unhinged rants on podcasts, and understand that it's not been enough. And I think that the rapid change is because they truly understand their momentum right now.
Mm.
And in order to keep that momentum going, they do have to target rapid change. Because if they said it's going to be roughly the same in 2023, there's a lot of people that say, well, then I'm roughly not going to try. And that is going to be a momentum killer. I think they do understand where they're at, and they have a great time to just start gaining and gaining, because there are trash fires of other organized play structures out there.
Mm.
And theirs is very robust, and people want to travel to play the game. So this is where they can leverage that.
I have a couple of friends that have played in the most recent regional championship for Magic. They qualified, and they played in this one, and they're qualified for the next one. And they're saying, honestly, like, they've played a little bit of Fab, and they're like, honestly, I'm probably just going to do Fabs, because Magic's is just, it's not, none of it matters. None of it's tied to anything. Like, unless you're going to be world champion, it just sort of sucks,
Mm-hmm.
And so, which didn't used to be the case.
No, we can start naming Pro Tour winners back and forth, and I don't know who's going to miss first.
I will miss first. for sure. You definitely have more encyclopedic knowledge, but
to be clear, I will miss first.
Abby, you can start. Go ahead. Name a Pro Tour winner.
Name a Magic Pro Tour winner.
Did Reed Duke ever win one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Your turn, Jordan, if you want one.
Oh, okay. Are we actually going to play Magic Pro Tour winners?
Like we can.
David Rude.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one. That's a deep cut. Wyatt Darby.
Oh, nice, Abby.
Did Patrick
She's
Chapin
Googling.
ever win one? Patrick Chapin.
Okay, you took the innovator / the drug dealer.
Yes.
Owen Turtenwald. That's not a one you could. Did he win one?
Yeah, he did. But do you really want to go that route?
That's just honestly, I was just thinking of Reed Duke's teammates and
sure, Huey.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Jerry Thompson, and then you get to do this all the way down. Brian Kibler. I mean, we get There's a whole lot of names you can throw out, but then you have to start getting to
John Finkel.
Finkel.
Yeah, he won a lot.
That was just going to be mine. That was going to be my next one.
My favorite John Finkel are the low hanging fruit.
Yeah. So my favorite John Finkel story. For people that don't know, John Finkel is arguably the greatest Magic player of all time. There's a lot of debate in that category among like 3 to 5 individuals, but like John Finkel is one of them. John Finkel is also absurdly rich 1%er. Okay. He owns hedge funds. He doesn't act like he's very clear. Like he's like, money is not real to me. Right. He's very much a 1%er. And you might think, well, he's not that rich. No, he's actually like a 1%er.
He is actually that rich. Yes.
So he was going to skip a pro tour and was sitting on the beach in Australia with his girlfriend or wife. Guy is from New York, so he's just vacationing in Australia because what do you do with millions of dollars but vacation in Australia? And he was sitting on the beach with his wife, and he saw an ad for the Pro Tour on like Twitter or something, and was like, man, you know what? I really want to play in that Pro Tour. Left the beach in Australia with his wife, flew to the testing house for the team that he typically plays with. They gave him a deck, and he like top 16 the Pro Tour.
Right.
Like, because he's just like insane and that good. And like that team had a rule that you didn't have one Pro Tour of the year. You could just skip the testing process for and get handed a deck. And so he like cashed in his one time per year and like top 16 the Pro Tour with just like nonsense. That's
if I remember right. Having not drafted the set that was drafted at the Pro
Correct.
Tour until he hit the testing house. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Exo the draft. He lost in constructed. Like he didn't lose in draft. Yeah.
Right.
So, and there's like not really fab comparables to that yet because the game is just so new and like organized play is just so new. But like these are the stories from card gaming that will always like yoink me back in. Is like you think you are good at something. Oh, you're really good at your F&M, or you top 32 to Grand Prix one time. Like these are all my like things. I'm like, oh, I'm not bad at this. Then you hear John Finkel top 16's a Pro Tour after not looking at any of the Magic cards, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm fucking trash. What's up, Ab?
LSV.
Correct.
That was a good one.
I'm still going.
Oh, okay, you're still playing. You're still playing.
I think for the listeners, we probably need to not play. But
yeah.
I'm out of people. Nobody else's name on the list.
Paulo
is anything good? Nope.
Paulo Vitor. Oh, okay.
Sorry, that name is on the list I'm looking at. I don't know who that is though.
Okay.
Did we see Kaimuto already?
Yeah, he's in the PVDR is in the argument for greatest player ever.
Anyway, Reed Duke is my favorite.
Players.
Yeah.
All right, we did it. So there's 3 seasons. We got very off topic there. I'm so sorry. So the first season is March through June. The product is Outsiders, which is the standalone set that was spoiled. The main event will be the Pro Tour. It will be in the U.S. We don't have a where or when yet.
Steve Moshowitz, by the way.
Ooh.
And the seasonal program is RTN and Skirmish Season 6. Season 2 is July through September. We'll have an expansion set. The main event will be Nats, and the seasonal program will be Skirmish Season 7. And then October through January, we'll have the second standalone set. The main event will be Worlds, and the seasonal program will be ProQuest.
I like the confirmation that there are going to be 2 draftable sets and only 1 expansion set, and that it's just going to be tied to a skirmish season. So you're not going to that'll be your quote off season. Your mid season break. Shuda Yasuka, by the way, still going.
Gabe Nassif, sir.
Oh, keep going. All right, so we got to stop this. But dude, this is the ongoing joke for the remainder of the month. Now it's just like naming for champions back and forth. Like the rest of the time, like Ari Lax. God damn, let's go home on fire.
Olivier Ruel.
Seth Manfield.
Seth Manfield's a good. I like that guy. That guy's a good guy.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
You
Yeah,
definitely have a
the
Wikipedia
last
page up.
class.
For sure. The only reason I said that name is because it's like Mansfield.
Mansfield, yeah, I get it.
Didn't Amy Amazonian win the like online one? Is that how she got famous, or was like her career kickoff?
Maybe, I don't recall.
I watch her Twitch stream sometimes.
I know Autumn Burkett won.
Okay.
Won.
Corey Burkhart.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I like that there are 2 draftable sets, and they're going to be tied to Worlds and the Pro Tour. Those tournaments need draft in them, in my opinion. I know a lot of people that have bad opinions say that there shouldn't be draft in those events, or should be. I don't care. They should be
wrong.
Draft. Yeah, just wrong, incorrect.
Straight to jail.
Like if you want to be like, you know, if you want to be like Joel Larson and be a Pro Tour champion,
Joel Larson.
Oh my God!
you have to be able to draft. Because I watched a lot of Magic coverage over the past 10 years. So like I think draft's important, and I like that they're tying those things to it, and I like that there is the expansion thing. If you're a competitive player, you can kind of just like check out, and that can be your break. Besides like Nats, you alluded to this earlier, Logan, that like only one Pro Tour a year is kind of a feels bad, or you're not sure how to feel about it. I agree with you, and I wonder if part of our gripe with scheduling is that because we have this extensive Magic background that had such a storied and like, I guess, routine pace of organized play, that it feels like there isn't the same pacing to a Flesh and Blood calendar yet. You knew you were going to get 4 Pro Tours or 4 premier events a year with Magic. You were going to get 3 PTs and Worlds, and you knew when they were going to be roughly. You know, we don't know that with Fab yet. The sets don't release around the same time. Like the main cycles of the tournament don't release at the same time, and that creates a little bit of friction. So, because I had a friend whose opinion I respect a lot, I was talking about how, you know, I was in a Discord ranting about how we don't have OP yet, and how we don't have a PT announcement yet, and he. You know, in this thing, it says late April, early May, and the date and location will be announced ASAP. So, like, they don't even know. Just bananas. But I was talking about that, like how I would like at least more than a quarter notice. And he goes, well, if you get it by the end of the year, technically that's 4 months and more than a quarter. So what are you worried about? And I was thinking about that. And that was a good criticism, because we say a quarter a lot. And like, if we get 4 months, that's more than a quarter. And what are we griping about? And I spent some time thinking about that, because I respect this guy's opinion a lot. And I think it's the lack of like any kind of consistency from year to year. 2021 felt wildly different than 2022, and it feels like 2023 is going to be wildly different than 2022. And maybe this year they find their footing, and next year we can expect here's the ebb and flow of the thing. You'll get a PT in North America, you'll get a national championship in your country, and you'll get a Worlds somewhere. Well, you know, one of those 2, I guess, end caps will be in North America, I guess, every year.
I get where you're going, and I agree largely. However, my gripe has always been that we don't know when and where the event we're planning on traveling for qualifiers right now is going to be. So we don't actually know if any of the other things that we have planned are going to work with where that event is. And also for people like me that live in bumfuck Iowa, there are locations that are harder for me to travel to within the US.
You could move.
Yeah.
Thanks, Abby.
Sure.
Ultimately very helpful. You have pitched Columbus to me any number of times, and
you have Cord too, Logan.
That's right.
But it's not the same.
No, it's
and
not
so
skateboard.
it's and so that's my biggest gripe is for Pro Tour specifically. For the rest of it, it was, I know there's 3 fucking events. You know there's 3 fucking events and where those events are. And you're just not telling us, which was accurate.
Right.
Because SCG released what they were doing 2 weeks before we got this.
Yeah.
So clearly they knew and they sat on it. And I feel like because of information that we have had from prior experience, a little inside baseball stuff, but I'm not going to go into it too hard, that they have a sort of an opinion of not wanting to talk over events. So I think that they were waiting until they were closer to the battle hardens that were going on the previous couple of weeks, so they didn't kind of step on
sure.
them. And it's like,
and that would be something if they built these other events up,
right?
You know, like, or posted a recap that had all of the decks in the top 8.
Bro,
yeah, I agree with you. I don't disagree at all. I found myself trying to be magnanimous when reading this article and being like, you know what? They gave us Q1 events just in the nick of time.
That means I don't quit.
Right. They gave us a date range for the PT, but so for people that aren't Americans, I didn't have this frame of reference until I talked to somebody like from England that like the furthest away trip a soccer team will take in the EPL is a 5-hour train ride. Okay. Top of England, bottom of England, it's like a 5-hour train ride. The farthest trip that an American can make is from Miami to Portland or Seattle. And that's like Seattle. And that's very far. Like that is a 2-day flight trip, right? Like you're multiple layovers, and that's to go across the same country. So if they say that the Pro Tour is in Los Angeles, I'm not interested in going to PTQs because like my participation in the tournament is irrelevant. Now I'll still go because I want to see friends and do all that stuff. But like if I'm a grinder from Ohio, it's much harder to get to LA than it is anywhere else in the country. And so a person would want to know that before investing time and money into this tournament scene. And PTIs from PTQs aren't transferable. So you can't even like say that as a good thing. Like your PTQ invite is not transferable. So yeah, I really respected the pushback of, well, it's 4 months and that's a little more than a quarter and that's what you asked for. But I guess there's more to it than that. And that like there are other things that vie for our time. And now we're starting to get into that time frame where Q2 events, like I bet you if I pulled up Abby and I's calendar, I could find things on the weekends in like Q2 as we get close to it. And there's a lot like, hey, I know that it's hard to budget or to plan for these big tournaments. I've worked closely with the Realm when they were doing that. We all did. Mm-hmm. We saw the struggle that it was to get venues and to get staffed. And like, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I could do this. It's so easy. I don't think that, but like, that's the job at a certain point. And like, you have a lot of people vying for this, and trying to get like that need this information. And LSS, I think, knows that. I think they know that based on this article. I think then they know what they haven't been doing is good enough. And if you're one of the people that are like, trying to be an LSS apologist in this issue, LSS themselves has acknowledged that they're falling short. So like maybe we should just all get on board and say like, hey, you know what? We'll support you while you figure it out. And I think we're all in agreement with that. I am a little sad about the step back to one PT, if only from coverage perspective. Because like, even if like I'm probably gonna go to the first one if it's close, if it's close
if it's
to me,
remotely close, yeah,
like I'll make it work. It might be more expensive or more of a hassle than I would like it to be, but I'll try to make it work. But if I'm not there, I love to watch coverage of these things. Like Nationals coverage was great, Worlds coverage was phenomenal, PT2 coverage I was up at 4 a.m. like a dumbass for, like. It was good. So I want there to be Premier Fab, because that's where all these stories of us talking about how Jerry Thompson won a Pro Tour came from. I feel like I'm the only one playing still.
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah, and I already said that one, but
did you say Jerry?
I did. But here's a little tidbit.
I wasn't the first one to lose.
Little tidbit. Mother's Day is May 14th. Just saying.
Oh, sure.
Early May.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second weekend in May.
That's tough. Yeah, the fact that we get like a multiple week range for PT1, the only PT of the year, by the way.
Outsized importance on these pro quests is the way I feel about it, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, man, you make a really good point.
Yeah,
I didn't think about how important these PTQs are.
I'm traveling because I don't get another double dip weekend. I don't get a double dip weekend unless I travel. So I'm going to Pittsburgh to see all you fucking yinzers, and then going to and then flying too close to the sun by going to a pro quest in West Virginia with known psychopath Rocky in an LGS that serves alcohol. Nothing bad can possibly happen.
And I have work off the next day.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't know I had the day off, so guess.
Fuck.
Rude.
But
must be nice.
It's great.
Well, yeah. So I guess I didn't think about that. Let's talk about that because that's really interesting. Like, if you're a grinder and want to like push the pedal on organized play, the 6 tournaments that you're going to play that period are probably the most 6 important tournaments you're going to play in 2023, and they happen right out of the way. Your RTNs will be important, but based on that little chart that we've seen, they're not as important. And man, also it looks like it's up.
What is happening with your hair right now?
That's great.
I've been playing with it.
Do not change. Yeah, do not change. I want that right there for the rest of the podcast.
I might have to get a haircut before next week too.
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah, I'm not going to go full off, but I do probably need to like tame the beard and thin it out a little bit. I have like a holiday dinner with like my boss's boss this week, so it's one of those just like I should get a haircut once every pandemic, you know. So, yeah, I guess I didn't think about. I don't like how important that is.
No, I don't either.
I don't like how important that is at all.
Now,
your year could be like if your goal was I want to qualify for a pro tour in 2023, you get one crack.
Right.
Man, that's really interesting. It's really, and they're emphasizing the regional play through Battle Hardens and Nationals. I get that, and I can appreciate that change in direction. I just don't love it, and I wonder how much of it's logistics, because the prize pool is still, there's $200,000 of prize money in Pro Tours last year. And there is $200,000 of prize money in the one Pro Tour this year.
Right.
So it's not like a money thing. It's not like, hey, we have to cut back costs. It's just like I wonder if it's logistics. I wonder if it's the shift to regional play. Like they want to make the national tournaments a bigger deal.
I honestly, I think it's logistics because
sure.
I've seen a lot of weird takes on this. I've seen a lot of, I mean, weird's the wrong word. I've seen a lot of differing takes on this. I've seen a lot of people talking about how this is going to tank the secondary market value of PTIs because there's only 2 PTI events and then there's X number of ways to acquire a PTI. Which again, it sounds like an infection every time I say it. And who's paying for that? You have to pay extra, but in this regard, it's just like I feel like there's just an outsized importance. Yeah, and that I'm like I said, I'm booking a flight to fucking Pittsburgh. And I have that weekend, there is a local pro quest that is 25 minutes from my house, but I'm hopping on an airplane so I can go play a double dip elsewhere and also see my friends that I haven't seen in forever.
And if you qualify for this pro tour, you could maybe win it and be like Andre Strosky.
Or Paul McCabe.
Good one.
What'd you say, Abby?
Paul McCabe. That's a pretty good one. That's a cut.
What? Also, Jordan, you're out.
Win, Abby?
You're out. It doesn't matter.
McCabe would have been 2001.
Yeah.
Oh no,
sure.
No.
Is he 98 then?
96.
96. Okay.
Yeah, guys, I can't tell you how much history there is in Magic stuff, and I can't wait for Fab to get there. I can't wait to talk. Sorry.
Are salty because you're already out, but you don't need to try and get Logan.
I don't have a fucking
you
Wikipedia page.
You already said it wrong. And you're out. There.
I mean, that you got
God. What format David Root qualified for the Pro Tour or won the Pro Tour in, Abby?
The best format.
Which one's that? Blitz? They don't have Blitz back then.
They don't have Blitz.
It most definitely was not Blitz.
Was it block constructed? It was Team Rochester.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Greg
Actually,
Orange.
I don't
Anyway.
know that
Take
'cause
that
he
one.
talks about it on podcast, but
It's like Greg Orange. Take that one.
And then at the end of the article, we have the calling and battle hardened schedule for Q1. So we have 2 callings, Indianapolis, February 3rd through the 5th, and Auckland, February 24th through the 26th. And then battle hardens, we have Leeds, New Jersey, Belgium, Italy, and Charlotte. I also I would like to say one thing. They are not consistent with the naming, and I don't love it.
How do you mean?
So you have Battle Hardened New Jersey, which is a state. Then you have Battle Hardened Charlotte, which is a city. Like it is not.
Oh, sure. And
It's
you have
not
Battle
Belgium.
Hardened Belgium, which
Belgium,
is
which is like a
Belgium.
country.
Right.
Yeah. You have Battle Hardened Bologna. That's a sandwich.
Okay, I'm gonna let that one stand.
If bolognas aren't sandwiches, then call me Uncle Todd. Uncle Todd? What the fuck? What? I don't know what joke I was doing there.
I don't know either. I'm really confused.
I'm not sure.
I'm kind of
not
scared.
Sure. Yeah, God. I
Anyway.
can't wait for Fab to get to the history, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
I would tell you to go watch a documentary on YouTube that features like Huey Jensen, Reed Duke, and like another guy that shouldn't be named, but it's got Owen in it, and like he's a bad guy, so like you shouldn't watch it. But like that kind of stuff of like history of games is like I love it. I can't wait for Fab. Can you imagine like when we get to talk about? Remember when Michael Hamilton went on an absolute heater? He won US Nats, he won Worlds, he like top 16 both Pro Tours that year. It's like by far the most dominant year in the history of TCGs, and we're gonna get to talk about it. And we were here for it, and I'm just excited for that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, absolutely.
But I will be at Calling Indianapolis most likely. It is unlikely that I will be at Charlotte, but I have an affiliation for that city. Like I love that city. So I'm going to try to be there. Also, we have friends that live there now, so I'm going to try to be there.
You're not going to take Matty P?
You know, I should ask him. We do go to every Charlotte tournament together. So
yeah, I'm like a 10% for Indy, just because if my brother says, hey, there's something going on with us that weekend, so we'll have to do Mom's birthday a different weekend, then I get away with one. But if it's because my mother is born on the 4th, and I'm not going to miss her birthday.
Sure.
In the celebration, whatever we're doing, then Charlotte, I'm about 80%. I'm very much more than likely going.
Gotcha.
New Jersey, I won't be at. Yeah.
Yeah, no, New Jersey, we will be in Pittsburgh
in Charleston.
Yeah. Have you been to West Virginia before?
No, I'm actually crossing a state off my list.
Oh, nice.
It's almost heaven.
Nice. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
When we drive through West Virginia, we're going to drive on the turnpike, and I am going to show you the best spot in West Virginia. It's what they call it. It's actually just okay. So it's the best. I want to do this to you in person, but it won't work out. So we're not going to drive by it. But it's called like Tamarack or something. But it's basically like a glorified rest stop. Like they have a restaurant in there and some gas stations and but it's like it's on the middle of the turnpike that goes through the middle of the mountains, and they call it the best part of West Virginia. And so whenever you drive to Charlotte, you drive right by it. Me and my dad are always like, man, that's as good as it gets. It's all downhill from here. And like, it's just kind of like my favorite part of West Virginia. Cause like we talk about, I've been there. It's phenomenal. It's the best part of West Virginia. And it's just like a gas station. Like, it's just like a really glorified rest stop.
That's kind of shitting on the state. If that's the best part,
Well,
you're not wrong.
Yep. All right. We have got to move this along.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
We have 7 listener questions.
oh Jesus Christ!
We can't spend all day.
No,
no,
we're gonna rapid fire them. All right. First one is from C Dubs. Do you think draft sets have more to offer than supplemental sets?
Yes.
Is there a need for supplemental sets, or
No.
could they just make more draft sets?
Yes.
To supplement more classes and talents?
Yes.
I hate the fact that question 1 has nuance. Do you think draft sets have more to offer? Yes.
Yes.
Is there a need for supplemental sets? Yes. Mainly
Could they
because
make more...
You mean because new draft sets start to make old heroes obsolete, and you don't want them to remain obsolete for the entirety of runs of other.
Yeah,
heroes.
you're right. You're right. It's very tough. Part of it makes me want them to just put old heroes in draft sets. But
We're gonna get to that in a second.
All right.
Okay. Question number 2.
That's a good question, Chris. It deserves more consideration.
I don't want to give it short shrift, and I think that there is a need just because of what we just talked about, and I do think they needed to do better job of augmenting heroes that are behind. But first, they have to be able to identify which heroes are going to be behind. It's future proofing, really.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope. Good.
Okay. Question number 2 is from Chuck. So we know the next Pro Tour is in North America. What do you think a Canadian Pro Tour looks like, and would you make the trip?
It's almost certainly in Toronto.
Yeah, your dark horses are Vancouver and
Montreal.
Probably Montreal.
Yeah, my guess is it's Toronto because it's predominantly English speaking and it's central, which Vancouver is not central and Montreal is French first, if I understand correctly.
I mean, I don't know. There's people we can ask about that, but
yeah.
I know that I can pronounce fleur de lis, and that's about as far as I get. But
I like a baguette with my soup.
Oh, I love baguette. I'd go to Quebec for sure. I'd make
a lot of good fishing up in Quebec. Yeah,
a lot of great fishing up in Quebec.
Yeah, I would go to basically any of them but a Vancouver. Of the 3 we mentioned, I would not go to a Vancouver one.
I would be 110% going to Vancouver. That city is fucking amazing.
Really?
I love Vancouver. I hate the hockey team. I love Vancouver.
Interesting. I am very over long travel as a big man on a plane, like we've talked about on this show a lot. I'd have to be qualified, I think, to go to Vancouver. But I would go just for the calling or whatever for Toronto and Montreal.
Sure.
Yes. All right. Question number 3 is from
Galactus.
Sorry, my eyes got very watery. Do you think that supplemental sets shouldn't ever include new classes and heroes and only focus on cards that support the current heroes and classes?
They should not include new heroes.
Correct. I agree. They should only focus on supporting heroes. The problem is...
Caveat, they should not include new classes. New young heroes is fine by me.
Okay, sure. And I think this is the thing that's tough about this is I don't think people understand the design cycle that a team goes through very well. They don't know how far out in advance they have to plan sets. And it's so
far.
hard. Yeah, it's far. So we keep drawing Magic parallels with the future league for Magic. I think it's like 5 years out on cards that are just now in development. Like it might be 4.
It's 4, or it used to be 4.
Sure. Like now they just make a card and send it to the preview station.
They sure do.
Yeah. And every day it's just, Mark Rosewater's wet dreams, just they print them cards. But no,
that's
so
the
like
glue that holds them together.
Oh no! I don't want that. No. Oh no! I don't want that. I don't want to know.
A little Rosewater holding the cards together.
Oh no! Thank you. God damn it! I'm gonna return my secret layer Doctor Who's now. Oh no. No. Yeah. I. It's such a hard job because like with printing and with like just the way the industry works and what's required of the stores to get their products out, Fab probably has like 3 to 4 years in the pocket. And it's so tough to like know, is Azalea going to be trash in 3 years with Meta Evolve? And then you add the Living Legends system, like, and don't have a traditional rotation. So like, are we going to design cards for a deck that's not even going to be here?
They clearly thought that Prism was probably going to still be around at this point in time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's so tough, like what if Reinar goes on a heater this PTQ season and gets DQ'd or gets LL'd rather? Like what, you just printed Reinar Vidori. Like that's probably not what you wanted to see happen. You probably have a
young hero.
Sure. Fair
I guess
enough.
if he gets LL'd in Blitz. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, so it's so tough. I agree with you that they shouldn't include new classes in adult heroes and focus on current heroes and classes, but that's such a hard maybe they misread the meta and ended up giving Redline Briar more cards.
Oops.
It's tough. So this is one of those areas we're very hard on LSS, but from the game design perspective, we're
It's
very like understanding of like, oof, I don't.
I wouldn't
envy
go
that
so far as
position.
to call, I wouldn't go so far to call myself an apologist, but I do absolutely understand.
Yeah, right. I am very much of the opinion like, hey, that's the job, right? Like, figure it out. But I get it. So when people are like, how can't you support X hero? I don't know. There's other shit to do. Like for everybody's hero that gets help, there's a hero that gets left behind. And if you reversed them, you'd still have the same number of people complaining. So like, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Question number 4 is from Basis 20017. What do you guys think this new draft set will be like? Do you think we'll get another assassin, or are they going to be new classes or new heroes in old classes?
So let's combine this with G, because I think it's a lot of the same discussion.
Yes.
So G is, sorry, Abby, going to steal your thunder for a hot second. What are your predictions for the 4 classes and outsiders? This is from Keith. It's fun this far out. So let's just talk outsiders. Kind of combine this up a little bit. From what we know from James White, J-Dubs, as we call him here in the FAP.
Oh no,
that didn't feel great. Okay,
to be honest.
So
D plus. I'm being nice with the plus. Don't argue.
Okay, I'm not going to
argue.
You
don't get a C. You don't get a C for that.
All right, fine. We've been told that the focus here is a set similar to what WTR was for draft.
Yep.
So less combo-y womby bomby shit and more generics and melee shit. I think that's an amazing idea, and we should be doing that once a year.
Yep.
If that means you're reprinting generics in those slots, I don't give a shit. Like, reprint Snatch. Let me play that in limited some more. Razor Reflex. Let's go.
Yep.
Those are all things that I would very much so enjoy. Sync Below. Sync Below is a great limited card.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Scar
right
for
now,
Scar is fun to play with. Like,
well, yeah, but we just did that one. That's kind of my.
I guess it's fair. Yeah, Scar for Scar not in a format where one hero naturally benefits from it.
Oof. Yeah. So I think that's what the set's going to be like. I do think so. My prediction for your classes are Assassin. We'll just get Arachne again, which my opinion on that is already on wax. Like I'm baked in to be pissed about it. So that's fine. I'd rather open a Majestic that is not Majestic than not have the support for such a cool draft hero and not have such a cool draft hero not in a draft set. There was a James White interview with Oil, the Eye of Ophidia French show or French news site or whatever it was. He did say there's an Azalea in the set, so Ranger. We don't know if it's a new Azalea or not. And I think we're getting an Alchemist, which is Lena Bell, who's on Shitty Christmas Present. That's not Lexi. I thought it was, but it's Lena Bell, who appears because she's on the text of Time Snap Potion. So it leads me to believe that that's Alchemist. And then I think the last one is going to be Chain. I think it's Runeblade. And I think it's a Runeblade talented with whatever the talent of the pit is. That's my guess.
I don't hate any of those. I agree with the Alchemist, Ranger, and Assassin because those play the most straight up. I do think this draft format will be very, very good. Brian Gottlieb's been involved in it, and I like the way he approaches games. I believe he's a full-time designer at LSS now. By the way, off screen, I am buying a shitty Xmas present. It's going to be a cube card.
I could have just given you one. You don't need to buy one.
No, I think I'm just going to buy one anyway because I'm going to put it in there. So don't worry about it. They're $8, man. Like,
I have extras.
Okay, well I'll see you in a couple weeks. So yeah, that's fine. All right, are you going to bring them?
Yes, I will bring them. Okay. I will bring your shitty Christmas present, you fuckstick.
Thank you.
Yay.
God. Anyway, I think the draft set will be very good if it lives up to this promise of the old one. I agree, man. Just give me a bunch of generics. The Uprising was so on rails, and it was a letdown of an experience after how good I feel like Tales was, and how good, like Welcome to Wraith is, one of the best draft formats of any game of all time. And I think part of this is we're now in the window, and Uprising, I think, was the first one that was released, that was developed while the game had been released.
Correct.
So that's when LSS had to start designing a set while running a business. And that's like much harder to do than just like being James White in your apartment and like making cards, right? And really having the time to tinker on this stuff. Now there's clocks. Now you got assholes like us screaming at you for why don't I know things in 2027, James? Like, why not? So like that's a real concern that they have now, is they have to appease the masses. They have to appease masturbation euphemisms on the internet. So it doesn't surprise me that we saw that momentary dip over the past couple of sets in terms of like the complexity and some of the things we like in the game. But I like this return to form. I like that draft will be a focal point of 2023, and that we're going to get to see it at Worlds and the PTQ in the PT. So
and we know they've been hiring because, well, we met one of them. And so we know that they're putting people in place to kind of help address these things and take some of the lift and pull off of like two people wearing too many hats or whatever. So I think that we'll hit a return to form, and I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to 2023 Flesh and Blood, to be honest. Like, not a shill by any stretch of the imagination, as can be witnessed from the last like 3 or so shows. Yeah. But I really am pumped for the products that we're going to see coming out next year.
Completely agree. And for what it's worth, we've gotten to meet and interact with LSS employees now through our connections with the show and with people, and like all of them, for all of the shit that we say, all of them love this game. They love you, and they want it to be really good. And I fully believe and like trust them to get it right, which I do not think about other games. Okay,
no, I do not.
Like Magic the Gathering obviously has a big part in my heart, right? For a bunch of reasons. I met some of my best friends through it. It's a good game. It's something I was good at and made money with, blah, 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 all that shit, right? They do not give a fuck about us or making a good game. Fuck. They don't. What is the Hasbro stock ticker? Is it green or is it red? That's what they give a fuck about, full stop. Okay? LSS employees give a shit. Bobby Kotick from WoW and Blizzard and Activision don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. Yeah, he sucks. They don't give a shit about us WoW players, right? They don't give a shit about Diablo. But LSS, James White, Alex, Norval, all those guys, they give a big shit. They want this to be good. Yep. I fully believe that. Also, that guy wears hotel robes. So
with slides and board shorts.
He was like, just,
how fucking slick can you be?
Yeah, the guy is way too cool for us.
Life. Yeah.
He's like if Heath Ledger was a Hemsworth.
My God.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're in good hands for all of the shit we say. This is, I guess, me trying to mend the bridge of the past like 4 months. Like, I believe in these people and think that they care. Now, whether they nail it every time or not, don't worry. We'll let you know. Or, Logan and whoever will let you know. I won't be silent on Twitter. But, like, they care. And I think that goes such a long way in this industry. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Question number 5 is from Skirk12345. Eliza and I were having a discussion. Who do you think are the best / worst smelling heroes in Flesh and Blood?
You know what I'm not going to miss about Flesh and Pod?
These questions?
Having to come up with a tier list for best and worst smelling.
We just need the top and the bottom. That's all we need.
Chain is worst.
Okay.
I have Chain is among the worst.
Bravo's.
I have Cavdeen. I have Cavdeen.
That's right.
Oh,
Bravo's
sure.
Bravo's at the top.
Bravo's at your top. That's very interesting.
I would potentially pay money to sniff Prism's farts.
Excuse me?
So,
oh boy.
Nope.
It's possible.
Nope. This question's done. I'm over this.
Prism.
If I hadn't already resigned from Flesh and Pod, that might have done it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So, okay, I'm just looking at the list.
She looks like she smells so pretty.
I do not care. Whatever you're saying, I do not care. I need to be very clear. Prism, Shiana, Lexi.
Shiana's a good one too.
Dash. I feel like
Smells like
Dash
oil.
has,
Smells like oil.
but I feel like it's that like workman, like, oh, you smell good because you work hard. But yeah, I'm with you that I think it's Lexi, Shiana, or Prism.
Lexi's out in the wild, man. I think Lexi's wild and has a little bit going on, but
that's fair.
Shiana Prism is probably the tier list.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right. And then our last question is from Keith. What are each of your favorite Christmas cookies / candy that you look forward to every year? You know, that thing that says holiday party or I'm home for the holidays. Logan.
So if I know Keith, this is that he can make this for us, by the way.
Fair. So my coworker, I accept. My coworker, Michelle, will make Christmas cookies for different people in batches of varying sizes depending on your importance to her, and every year, and we'll then ask, what's your favorite thing that I make, and then give you an outsized portion of those. And so since I'm towards the top of that tier list right now, I get like this giant box of cookies, and I would consider murdering people for her salted caramel pretzel cookies. Like, actually committing acts of random violence in order to make sure, like, it's that old, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Would you kill a man? This is that. This is, I might kill a man. They are exceptional because, one, I love salted caramel. Two, they are the perfect blend of sweet and salty. It is, and they're gooey. You can let them, and then you can let them sit for a couple of days, where cookies get brittle. Since these are like through and through with caramel, you just throw it in the fucking microwave for 30 seconds. It's back to soft and chewy, babe. We're ready to go. Like, they are amazing. And that's my answer, hands down.
There you go. Jordan?
For me, it's probably fudge. My mom makes a fudge that every year I eat a ton of. That's like probably it for me. Also, there's this like thing my aunt makes, like some noodles and mashed potatoes that are like really good. I don't know if
my mom does that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't even know if they're like special or like her own recipe. I just think that like they're good, and I associate them with like holiday family Christmas parties. So noodles / mashed potatoes, and then my mom's fudge are definitely it for me. Abby?
Yeah, my mom makes chicken and noodles. It's unreal. So I get it.
Yeah. So, I have technically 3 answers. The first thing that screams holiday party to me is homemade Chex Mix. It just hits different. Okay. It's at every party you go to. I love making it. Big fan.
I love eating it.
As far as like cookie candy stuff, so a generic one, peanut butter blossoms, love them.
Oh, that's on the list.
Every time.
Absolutely.
They're always good. And then the other, which I'm very disappointed that Jordan didn't list this as his favorite. I have a family recipe that we always made them with my grandma and my mom when I was growing up. We make meringues. So like, think of key lime pie, except like a cookie form with chocolate chips and with or without mint flavoring in addition to. They are the best cookie I've ever eaten in my entire life. And Jordan would agree that they're delicious.
With the meringue consistency?
No, it's like they're very hard to explain, but it is crisp like a cookie, and then it like melts into the meringue consistency when you eat it. They are fantastic.
It is a confusing texture.
That's sorcery. That's like witchcraft. That's witchcraft. Were your ancestors burned at the stake for doing this?
No.
Because it does sound like witchcraft. Just saying.
I thought you were going to say, Abby, she used to go to a friend's house every Christmas and just like make a billion cookies.
Yes.
And then have a billion cookies to give away with one of her friends that doesn't like me. But I would eat them cookies anyway because I don't give a shit. I'll play by the rules.
That's right. Logan, if I have time before, or are you going straight into Pittsburgh? Yep, this is not a show thing. We can do this
I can bring them to Pittsburgh.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, okay. I would eat those. I would eat those.
Logan, what is the status on a drum set?
Do I need one now? I mean,
this is why we're leaving. I'm kidding.
No possums and no drum sets just makes Abby a sad person. Is that it?
It's so fresh. I won't joke about it.
Yeah, that's kind of mean. Listen, I've resisted a lot of jokes out of knowing that like this is hard for everybody, but Abby's just like fucking daggers. Like,
It's a good thing I love you.
Abby's
Like,
gonna send
honestly.
pictures from Mansfield and Toledo. Like, look where I'm at, not in front of a podcast microphone. Like, Jesus. Oh my God.
Okay, so we are going to announce our giveaway winner.
Box
Okay,
of
you've
First
Only
First
been
Edition
announced
Monarch.
here.
Yeah. This isn't on Twitter.
That's right.
Like the fact that it's here is on Twitter, but it's not, you know.
Don't tag them, right?
Don't leak the info.
Yeah, like, because if you don't leak the info and they don't listen, your odds of winning have gone up.
Yep.
Because we're going to
You're
give them
eliminated.
some time, and then if they don't listen, you, person that listens, will move up the ladder.
That's right.
So,
Facts.
So, the winner is Harvey 0209.
Ooh,
Harvey.
on Twitter.
Yes, on Twitter.
Yes, on Twitter.
DM us, one of us, the Twitter account, one of us, any of it's fine. You need to do so before the 19th. If you do not, we will redraw. So,
Yep.
let us know.
We will
Keep us
redraw.
posted.
Yeah, Discord. If you don't have us on Discord, join our Discord and DM us. Like our Discord, our DMs are open with people that we share Discord with. So join the Fab Discord. There's a link to it in the description of the show, whether you're on YouTube or on your audio platform. You can DM us on Twitter. Logan checks the Twitter DMs. Abby, are your DMs open on your personal Twitter?
Sure. I have no idea.
Well,
Absolutely
that's-
not. They
That's
are
an
not.
objectively based. Yeah, that's
How do I
not
find
a
that
thing
out?
that you have an opinion on. That's just like
Hold
whether
on,
it's
I
true
can
or
look.
not.
Hold on, I'll look IRL. How do I know?
Don't worry about it.
Twitter. I'm on it.
DM Logan or I.
Or the
Settings.
Flesh and Pod Twitter
Or the
account.
Flush and Pod Twitter account, yeah. I'll tell you right now, AbbyD83 Twitter. Just DM Logan or I on Discord or on the Flush and Pod Twitter account, or come into our Discord and we'll figure it out. But please do, because again, by the 19th, or we'll give it away. Your DMs are not open.
Sorry, my DMs are not open.
Useful. But
Very
that's
Here
how
to
you
help.
win. And we will redraw again if you don't. So there you go.
That's right. That's right. All right, let's do our Patreon shout out. So we have our associate producer, which is our $5 tier, and we have Andy. And then we have our executive producer and up. So we have Chris, May, Philip, Taylor, Ed, Josh, Kenny, Nick, Teague, Ben, Alan, and Michael. If you are interested, patreon.com/fleshandpod. We have 4 different tiers and it will break it all out for you. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FleshPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. You can shoot us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com. My personal Twitter is at AbbyD83. I sometimes tweet out on there various things like Ben Stark, former Magic the Gathering Pro Tour winner.
Or did Ben Stark?
That's pretty
No,
good.
you did it!
You did not do Ben Stark.
I didn't do Ben Stark?
Nope.
Oh, he's so easy.
He is. He's a real easy one. I usually save those.
But yeah, yes. I got a sweet new pair of ears and my Secret Santa this weekend. Very excited about it. We're
New
going
pair
to
of-
Disney on Ice next
Oh,
weekend.
Disney ears, yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. She acts like everyone is very familiar with like Disney Parlay, and they'll just be like, yes, I got new ears or something, and you're just like, what the fuck does that mean? So
Yeah, I wasn't aware, but okay. I get it.
Okay. Logan.
You can find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson. I tweet and I shitpost anymore. That's about all I do. And I also am the normal, and have been, to anybody that didn't know, the normal tweeter from the Flesh and Pod Twitter account as well. So that's also mostly shitposting. So if you need somebody to blame or have needed somebody to blame for the past year and change, it's probably been me. And then also Discord, my DMs are open to anybody I share a server with. Please hop in, send a message, ask any questions you want to about how the transition, anything else. I'm going to try to be as big of open book as I can and make sure that this goes as smooth as possible for our listeners, because it's important to me. It's important to Abby and Jordan. And so please just reach out. Let me know. Please don't reach out with, "Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I got past the grieving process. I don't need to revisit it." So Jordan, where can they find you?
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm Jermaine. On Discord, similar thing as Logan. DMs open to Discord members. Yeah, I tweet a lot about sports, a lot about Flesh and Blood, U.S. politics. Let's see what my most recent tweet is. I feel like playing this game. It's probably ridiculous. It is about instant replay in sports. Oh. No, instant replay in sports. How frame by frame viewing of every single play after it happens is miserable. But yeah, please. I know there was a lot of news in this episode, and it was top loaded with like some bad news. I'll still be around. I'll still be in the FleshPod Discord. Still playing Fab. Just not doing the show kind of stuff. Still, just I'll be around those. So feel free to whatever you want to talk about. I'm your Huckleberry.
I just now realized this fucked myself because I said, please don't do this, which just means people are going to do this.
Yes.
So like 100%. At our wedding reception, we had these blank poker chips with Sharpie markers people to write messages on because it was Vegas themed. And I said, please do not draw dicks on the poker chips. And I have a jar full of poker chips downstairs with dicks drawn on them.
Yeah. It's like the Streisand effect, right? You didn't want something to happen, and so you said it so it amplified the effect.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
a
yikes.
Lot of dicks. It's a lot of
yikes.
Dicks.
Yeah. So please, definitely, wink, wink, don't message Logan. But also, if you have questions or want to talk about, stuff with Abby and I too, we're open books about life and all that kind of stuff. I like talking about time equity and managing yourself and your life and all that kind of shit. So I'm your guy. This episode was a lot. It's an hour and 40 fucking minutes.
I know.
But it was a good one. I think we're gonna run this out in style and then pass it off pretty well. So.
Yep. All right. That is all for this week, except I just want to say, Alan Wu, I'm the winner. Bye.